What's up, my lifers and world changers? Welcome to Angie and Real Life Empowerment TV. I am your host. Welcome to another Woman Empowerment Wednesday. Woman Empowerment Wednesday. Y'all, I will make up a song in a minute, whether it makes sense or not. That's just what I do. Okay, pumpkins. So, guys, look, before we get too far into this live stream, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and share. Like, share, comment. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, get your mama, your uncle, your cousins. Everybody can benefit from tonight's live stream. Even if you got some kids, if they happy, tell them and let them hear. Shout out to all those on Facebook. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I cannot see your chat if you haven't given StreamYards permission for me to have you. Shout out to the Debt Demolisher crew. They are rolling in. Lisa Smiles, Coach Harut, Tracy Ann, Acacia, Sherry McQueen. Y'all come on in and let's do the thing. I'm so excited tonight. Grab your paper, your pencil, your pen. I always tell people, do not come before greatness empty-handed, because look, baby, I am forever a student. I do not know everything. Guess what? I know some things, but guess what? I can always get something from someone else to enhance my gift, my talent, and my ability. So, guys, some of you may know her. Some of you guys may not, but I want her to give everything that she has to possibly give tonight. I want her to leave this interview feeling like she's giving it everything that she had to give on tonight. So, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. If you haven't grabbed your drink, y'all see that? Don't need Google. My husband knows everything. Okay, pumpkin. He don't like this mug, y'all. He don't, but I love it. Grab your drink, grab your pencil and your pen, and get ready. For some of us know her as Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher TV. Guys, we will be right back after this. We will bring her straight on up on the screen, y'all. Y'all, I know y'all excited because y'all falling in here. Y'all come on and grab everything. I'm going to give you a minute. Get your snacks, your sandwiches, your bubble gum, your popcorn, all that fun stuff, and then come on back. Angie in real life. Angie in real life with one L. I am your hope dealer and your purpose pusher.
Here's what you gotta do. Hit the bus and splash and coming through.
What's up, my lifers? How are we? Welcome back to another day's journey in the world with your girl, me, Angie, in real life. Look, guys, welcome to Angie in real life. You guys will come here and you will get encouraged, you will get influenced, and you will get motivated. I am known as your hope dealer and your purpose pusher. So guess what? All things on Angie in real life are created with you in mind. So if you subscribe to this channel, you will not regret it. So here's what you gotta do. Hit the bell, subscribe, share, and comment too. It's Angie in real life. It's Angie in real life. It's Angie in real life. It's 1L in real life. Welcome to all my subscribers. I love you so much. AKA you guys are known as lifers. So join the movement and see you in the next video. Deuces. All right, guys, no further ado, we welcome the one and only DDTV, Sophia Malone.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Angie. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight.
I'm so excited that you are here. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. If you guys got questions, y'all get her right. I know y'all might know some stuff already, but you might have some fresh questions based off what she's saying tonight. So, Sophia, let me break the ice, boo-boo. Let me break the ice, sweetie pie. If you were stranded on an island, what 5 items would you take with you?
5 items I would take with me if I was stranded on the island would be my phone, it would be my Bible, it would be water, it would also be my planner, and a healthy pen to write with.
Ooh, that's good things. I think every time I ask that questions, mine change a little bit.
Really?
But I would definitely take pen and paper because I love to write. I
Mhm.
would definitely take my Bible. I don't know if I would take my phone, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because I'm so attached to it, right? And if I didn't have service, I would stress. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh my God, I can't find service. I'll be so weird about I would be so weird about trying to find a signal that I would forget that I had the pen and the paper. You know, I walked out of the house without my phone and was late for work. I'm like, I'm going back and get my phone. But that is good choices to take. I would like to have some fire, possibly in a pot to boil some water because we know we can survive on just water.
Oh yeah,
So
yes. Yes.
pen, paper, some water, something to make a fire with. So it always changes depending on my mindset at the time. So
True, true,
you
true.
guys, if y'all want to partake in that question, comment below. If you were on an island, what 5 things would you take with you? Comment below, and as we move on, we'll stop back and pick up some of those things and share those 5 things. Welcome, Mama Chef BC Cherry Bliss just stepped in the room. She has always been one of my best moderators in the whole wide world, y'all. So she pops up when she can. She's a busy, busy woman. I am having her daughter, the fruitful wife, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, the last Wednesday in the month. No, I think the last Wednesday month. So I'm excited to be able to have her and share her with you guys next week. But tonight it's about Sophia Melonē. Hey, Debt Demolisher TV. I love your meme. I love your meme. So who is the Debt Demolisher? Who is Sophia? You know, who are you? What's your background? What makes Sophia tick?
Oh wow, that was a lot. So I'll tell you right now. So I just want to kind of leave the professional things kind of off of the table for right now. But for me, I'm just a simple girl that is a daughter who is a lover of Christ and who just really wants to help people transform their financial relationship, meaning their relationship with money. I was once at a point where I was consumed with 6 figures of debt before the age of 30, over 365 to be exact. And I had a really dysfunctional and unhealthy relationship with money. And I didn't realize that until I started my journey. So, one of the things that I often share about me that most people know is me being a caregiver and being a caregiver to my mom for so long. And just having that love and support for her is one of the things that I honestly wear as a badge of honor, and it kind of keeps me going. But for me, I'm just a all around lovable person, absolutely cheerful, joyful, and want to help people as much as possible and give in the highest capacity that I can. So just wanting to be the best version of me. And then outside of that, I'm an accountant full time. I have a background in accounting, MBA in financial management. I've been in the field for over 15 years.
Mm.
And despite all of the education that I had around business finance, corporate finance, that definitely did not translate over into my personal finances. And so just sharing that to say that despite what you do professionally, it may not always transcend over in your professional life to serve you for your betterment. So
I want to say one thing. I so love what you just did. And you probably like, what are you saying? I love the fact that you did not say what you do. You said who you are.
mm,
And that speaks volumes because a lot of people don't know who they are. When you
mm,
ask someone who they are, they start telling you what they do. So you are the first person that I can recall, really, even with myself, saying who you are. Because we have to master who we are before we can master what we do.
amen.
And I love it when you said all your accolades, your degrees, and your business, and how it was so different. Like you didn't apply any of that to your life. Even though that's what you did, that's not who you are or who you were. So I believe once you come into who you are, you can marry those two things, and then you can start to help others. And that's exactly what you are doing. And I believe that everybody has a story to tell. And that's what kind of pushed me into the interview sector, and especially women, because I feel like each one can help another, and I love to hear stories. I love to ask questions and I like to talk. I've always been the one that I'll say, well, are you married? Do you have kids? Oh, is that right? And I always follow and say, well, you don't have to answer me if you don't want to. I'm not offended.
Mhm.
So I'll quickly put that out there. So I'm so glad that you said who you are. You said who you are, and it speaks volumes. And I hope you guys in the chat heard that. I hope you guys are hearing that and pick that up, because you are not what you do. You're so much greater than that. You are not what you do. You're so much greater than that. So with that being said, we're on YouTube. So what brought you, at what point in your life, when you said that you didn't add your professional knowledge and all that into your personal life, at what point in your life when you said, you know what, enough is enough, I'm tired of being broke? Because as you can see, guys, her name is the Debt Demolisher. I don't know if you guys know what the word demolish means. Can one of the moderators pick up, go and get the definition of demolish and put it in the chat for us so we can read it? Because I need you guys to understand exactly what the word demolish means, because when you put debt and demolish together, y'all getting some stuff done. Y'all getting some stuff done. So what brought you to the point where you was like, you know what, enough is enough? I'm tired of not having this. I've had aha moments in my life where I'm like, enough is enough. So what happened in Sophia's life that made her become the debt demolisher?
So, Angie, I have to tell you, it was one exercise that literally changed my entire dynamics to actually allow me to get that revelation to realize that I was dysfunctional inside of my money behaviors. And it was at the ending of December 2015. We all know that when we approach a new year, we want to kind of set our New Year's resolutions. We want to identify the changes that we want to make for the new year, how we want to revamp our whole life. And I was taking this workshop. It was like a virtual self-paced kind of workshop. And I was going through every area of my life. And when I got to the finance piece, I got the idea to just do an exercise to figure out, well, how much did I earn so far? It's the ending of the year. How much have I earned? And I want to compare that to how much is actually in my bank account. So when I logged into my workers profile and I pulled up my W-2s, and I'm not my W-2s, I pulled up my last pay statement. I pulled out my last pay stubs and I saw the gross year-to-date amount, and it was six figures.
Ooh.
And when I compared that to my bank statement, I had less than $10 in the bank. And when I did that comparison, I said, how was it that I grossed this much in income and I don't even have a tenth of that, nowhere near a tenth of that in my account left for me? So I began to ask myself the question, well, where did all of my money go? And so when I went through my bank accounts, I started going through the activity, and everything was like debt payments, debt payments, debt payments. And I was like, wait, all of my money is going to debt payments. So how much debt am I actually in? So once I went to the step to actually pull all of the numbers together, that's when I saw that I was in over $365,000 worth of debt before the age of 30. And seeing that number alone made my heart sink. It made me feel defeated. I felt like, how in the world did I get myself in this situation? I'm a caregiver to my mom. I'm managing this. I'm doing this, and I'm making good money, but my financials does not show that. My financials does not show that. And I thought to myself in that moment, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get out of this. How am I going to be able to pay off all of this debt? And I had to make a choice in that moment, because when you're faced with a situation where you have to make a decision, or when you're faced with a situation where you're actually looking at the facts of where you stand today, you're either going to decide to continue to do what you're doing or do something about it. And so after I picked my gut up, my face up, my chin up, everything off of the floor, I said to myself, this is it. I am not putting myself into any more debt. and I'm going to tackle this thing and do something about it. And that's all it took for me. I had to make the decision. I had to decide that I was going to change my behavior. And then I had to jump into actually figuring out, okay, what are the things that I need to do to actually tackle this debt? Because apparently the things that I was doing at work, again, I was not applying to my personal finances. In my personal finances, I wasn't really taught how to budget in that capacity. So it was kind of new to me.
And just listening to the aha moments, that gut punch, you like, wait a minute, hold up, this cannot be, and it's amazing how we can do something as a trade and we can teach other people to do it. Back in the day, the singer songwriter used to say, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. And that's not what we did as professionals. We don't do that a lot. Even like I'll say as a cook or a chef, or you'll cook for somebody else, but baby, you eating McDonald's, you eating takeout, you can cook healthy for someone else. So it goes both ways. And I see that people in the chat are putting the definitions of demolish. So you got demolish, to end, to smash, demolish, to pull, to knock down, comprehensively refute. You got to tear it down. And that's what you do with debt. Can you see how when any debt is anything that takes away from you? I understand you have good debt and you have bad debt, but when you want to make an impact on your life and when you actually see it, like, so I guess at that point, what was the next step for Lisa? What was the next step for I know Lisa was saying, like, when she had her moment, and other people that I have interviewed said that they had their moment, and then they said, well, I just start working towards. So what did you do to actually start working towards this? What, $365,000? What did you do? Like, how did you manage it? Did it take you a long time? Did you have a plan? Or did you just said, you know what, I'm gonna pay this week, I'm gonna pay this week? Did you write stuff down? How did you do it? Share with us.
So the very first thing that I had to do, honestly, was to find the information that I did not know. And so because I felt like this was going to be such a heavy burden, and immediately I felt like I didn't have a way out, I had to go and find evidence of those who did. And so what I did was I just went on Google, I started searching stuff, I went on YouTube, I went on Pinterest, and I was literally searching how to get out of debt, how to get out of 6 figures of debt. And all of these different things started to come up. I was reading articles, I was listening to YouTube videos, and I came across a pin on Pinterest. And it was an article that said, like, how to get out of $100 and something thousand worth of debt. And so I was like, let me click on this. And so when I clicked on it, it took me to the His and Her Money show. It took me to their website, not even their YouTube channel at that point. It took me to their website, and I was listening to their blogs, and I literally made that like my ritual. I would go every day and listen to the episodes to get caught up, because again, when I found them, they had already had several episodes released, but they would drop a new episode every week. So once I was able to get caught up on all of the episodes, I would just set that in as a part of my routine. Every week, I need to hear the drop. Because here is what happened when you begin to get the information and listen to the stories. You will begin to have better faith in the possibility of it being true and coming true for you. So hearing other
all I hear is faith come by hearing, and by hearing the word of God. But go ahead, girl.
Amen. Amen. And when you hear the stories, not only will you hear the stories to give you momentum, you will also be able to pick up strategy. So as the His and Her Money show and its Talent and Tide, they were interviewing several people who were either on debt freedom journeys currently, or who have already eradicated their debt and they've demolished their debt, or they've destroyed their debt, and they were sharing their success stories. And so in that, I was able to kind of hear what they were doing. Oh, okay, plan out your money. Oh, okay, make a list of this. Oh, okay, make these phone calls. Look at the interest rate. Do this, do that. And so it really got me excited, because I was gaining strategy while building momentum. So that was the first step. I had to find the information that I did not know. And the only way that you can do that is by doing the research yourself and just listening to the interviews, reading the blogs, and actually applying them, finding the books. I read the Total Money Makeover as well, from beginning to end within like a day or two. And I picked up a lot of strategies from them. But even within that, everything may not work for you. So if you are hearing certain steps or strategies, you can apply it to try it to see if it works. But if it doesn't work, then you can pivot to do something different. So for example, the envelope, the cash doesn't work for me personally. I know that it has worked for other people because they have had success stories. But for me, it just wasn't working. I tried it, but it wasn't working. So when you go through the space of trying to figure out what your flow is going to be, you have to pull the pieces, get the information, and then begin to create your plan. So once I got the knowledge, I was picking up the tools, I started to apply things. I had to begin to tell my money where to go. So what that looked like was putting myself on a budget. And again, I mentioned early on when we started this live stream today was that I'm a caregiver to my mom. And so I was managing 2 households on one income. And her expenses plus my expenses, it was a lot. But one of the things that I am very, very, very adamant about is the care for my mom. And if that meant that I had to go without, or if that meant that I had to reduce a little bit more, then that's what I did to make sure that her bills were satisfied and mine were as low as possible so that I can take the difference to be able to pay down on those bills or the debts that I had. So mainly those were the first 2 things. I've done several things, but those are the first 2 things.
Was there ever a point when you just felt like quitting?
Absolutely.
When you was like, forget it, I'm not paying the debt. Like my mom used to say, my mom used to always say, oh, the bill collectors ain't getting all my money. My mom had a habit of saying, they're not getting all my money. Well, you're using their expenses, honey. That was kind of like the attitude I had about it. But the generation before us, they taught us about money on the level at which they knew. So we didn't grow up. My grandmom could barely read or write. We would write her checks out and pay her bills for her. She had the money. She would bring us a check, but we in 3rd grade, 4th, 5th, 6th elementary school writing checks out for my grandmom to pay her bills. So they just went by whatever they had. They just didn't really have a budget per se. They just flowed with whatever they felt like they needed to flow with. So at what point in your life did you ever feel like, I'm not doing it, I'm not paying this bill? Like one time my mom said a debt collector called her, my grandma. And she was like, well, you can't get blood out of a turnip. And the collector was like, well, I didn't realize your last name was Turnip. So at what point do you get so frustrated that in this process of demolishing debt? I mean, what do you do when you get to that point? If you see something that you feel like you absolutely need, like how do you differentiate? How do you get through it when you had this lifestyle of exhausting everything, and then now it's like, nope, you can't have this Coke, you can't have this, you can't go out tonight. So how do you manage that?
So it's 2 things. The first side of it is a mental thing. So you really have to think about, why are you doing this in the first place?
Ooh, that's
And
good.
oftentimes when I was going through my journey, I had those moments where I was like, I'm tired of doing my budgets. I'm tired of penny pinching. I'm tired of having to cut off all of the lights. I'm tired of having to keep the thermostat on very, very low so that way that the heat bill won't be too high. I'm tired of all of these things. I'm tired of not being able to get my Chipotle bowls. I'm tired of it. But I had to remember why I was doing it in the first place, because the behaviors that I was demonstrating before wasn't serving me in a way that it was allowing me to grow from a wealth perspective, because I was putting myself deeper and deeper and deeper in debt. And I want to share this story when it comes to the point where I just wanted to say, this is it. I was adamant about paying so much. So I took every piece of excess to pay down on the debts that I had. And when I realized that I was paying down the debt, paying down debt, my overall debt balance really wasn't going down. And here's why: because things started to happen in my life.
Ooh.
Roofs needed to be repaired. gutters needed to be replaced, pipes were leaking, all kinds of stuff were going on. And because I was not building a reserve, because I was not paying myself first, I had to resort back to using the credit card to pay for these necessities, these needs, these things that are going to be absolutely essential in order to keep not only my household together, but also my mom's. And so when I was looking at, I got a year and a half into my debt freedom journey, and I was like, at this point, I've paid off over $100,000 of debt
In a
within that
year and
time.
hold up. In a year and a half, you paid how much?
In a year and a half, it was over 100. It was like 101 or something like that.
Okay, did y'all hear that? In a year and a half, you did what?
101.
And I'm over here struggling to talk about 11,000. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was like 101. It was 101. And when I realized that my overall debt balance wasn't really going down, because you want to look at it from two perspectives, not just how much you're paying down, but what your overall debt balance is. So when I realized, I was like, I'm paying it down, but I'm feeling like my number isn't moving. And I realized, like, oh, I'm not setting up a reserve. I'm not paying myself, because I'm taking everything and I'm taking it to pay down the credit cards. I'm taking it to pay down on the loans. But because I wasn't setting myself up for success by paying myself first consistently, I didn't have that cushion to get me out of the hole of not having to use the credit card to pay for things. So that point was something that was really big for me, because I felt like I was trying to make these moves or making these efforts, but it wasn't really any progress being evidenced because of the additional debt that I was adding onto it, because I didn't have a reserve. So that's one thing that I want to be able to share with anyone who's watching today. If you are wanting to start your debt freedom journey, if you're wanting to be able to become debt free, it is essential, it is imperative, it is a necessity for you to pay yourself first. If you want to be paying down your debt, you need to be doing both simultaneously. Putting a piece to the side for yourself to save up and store up for those times of in need, and using some of a portion of that to pay down on your debt. Because if you don't have the reserve, your debt balance is going to continue to grow. Because what we know for sure is that life is going to happen. Things are going to need to be repaired. Things are going to need to be replaced. And you're going to have resources to cover that, not just credit. You're going to have cash, liquid resources to be able to cover that.
So I think I took I'm looking because I moved my bookshelf around, so I'm looking this way today. But I did the Dave Ramsey was it Financial Freedom
Financial
course?
peace.
Yes, Financial Peace. I did their course, and he talked about the debt snowball and the debt calculator, and he talked about an emergency fund. What's your take on first the emergency fund? Because I heard you say pay yourself. Would you consider paying yourself an emergency fund, or is that just paying yourself?
Yes. So paying yourself is a part of your emergency fund. So one of the things that I share, and I often encourage folks when it comes to paying yourself first, because I call it a PYF fund, pay yourself first fund, I break it out into 4 different buckets. You have your emergency fund, which is essentially designed to support you in the event that you lose your main source of income. That's what your emergency fund is supposed to technically be for. The other one would be your insurance fund. So I oftentimes make sure that I have a reserve specifically for any insurance policies that I have where I would have to pay a deductible, because we know if something happens and you have to file a claim for whatever reason, whatever your deductible is, you know that's going to be your responsibility. So I make sure that I have a reserve enough to cover the deductible for all of my insurance policies. So that's another type of pay yourself first fund. The other one is your anticipated expense fund. And when you're looking at your anticipated expenses, and this is going to distinguish the difference between the emergency fund, which I just talked about, in terms of it being for you to be able to cover yourself in the event that you lose your main source of income, versus the anticipated expense fund, which is where you're building your reserve or you're having that cash for things that you know will happen. You just don't know when. So these will be things like your tire going out and you need to get it replaced. These will be things like your car needing to be repaired, and it may have to be a major repair. I recently had to do this for myself, $4,000 car repair that I had to undergo, and having that reserve for that, because we don't know when it's going to happen. We know it's coming up, but it's good to start saving for that in advance. That would also be other things like appliance replacements and things of that nature.
Oh, yes.
All of that stuff we know that it has a shelf life. It has a wear and tear that's going to occur. So why not begin to start parking money to the side for that, to fund it when it's time to replace it? And then the fourth one is the big one, which is your wealth building fund. And so this would include
Wait a minute, you mean to tell me not only churches have building funds? We can have building fund. We can have a building fund. Oh, glory. I'm gonna need Lisa Smiles go and get that tambourine, because she said we can have a building fund, y'all. Building fund ain't just for the churches, saints and friends. Y'all heard it here tonight. We can have a building fund. It just ain't for the saints and friends. But go ahead.
Amen. Amen. And a building fund as well, to ensure that you're building your financial house for the time in which you no longer have to work or will plan to work. So when you reach your retirement stage and things of that nature. So your wealth building portfolio or your wealth building fund would include your retirement, acquisition of property and assets that will generate income for you, and as well as other long-term investments. So that's typically how I break it out. So when you're looking at your pay yourself first funds, you have a lot to save up for. You really have a lot to save up for. But one of those funds are designed to be well, really 3 out of the 4 are designed to be replenishable, because as you use it, your goal is to replenish it and make sure that it's going to be able to get back up to that target that you've set between each of those buckets.
This is good stuff, y'all. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So with the PYF fund, and then I asked a question about the debt snowball. So how would you, or how did you, or would you recommend if someone would come to you, what would you start out first? Would you tell them to, start with their current bills, attack their credit report first, go to their credit cards? Once you accomplish your budget, once you figure that you owe XYZ, this, that, and the third, what would be next? Do I start paying a little $10 bill, $11 bill, $25 bill, or do I start with this, $15,000 car payment that I have? How would I start? How would you start, attacking this debt?
So it honestly and truthfully, it's honestly based on personal preference in terms of what you need. So I know for me, because I felt like I felt like that $365,000 of debt elimination wasn't going to be feasible for me. So I needed momentum. So I just needed evidence that I could at least pay one thing off. And if you want to be able to get evidence of being able to pay off one thing, you would start with the smallest to largest, which is one of the approaches that Dave Ramsey recommends when it comes to the snowball. So you'll start with the smallest debt and then work your way down to the largest debt. But some of us may have a different approach or may need a different drive whereby they want to focus more so on cost savings. So if you're someone who feels like, I want to be able to make sure that I'm saving the most, how can I pay down the debt that's costing me the most? Then you would use the approach of organizing your debts based on the loans or the debts that is costing you the most in terms of interest. And that is considered the avalanche method. So if you need momentum, then you will want to do the smallest to largest debt and then tackle one at a time. And then if you need cost savings, then you'll use the avalanche approach where you're paying down based on the interest rate. But the snowball method in and of itself can still apply regardless of which way you choose. Because what the snowball method is, it's allowing you to identify, okay, what is going to be the first debt that I'm going to be focused on? You focus on putting as much as you can on paying down that first debt while paying the minimums on all of the rest. And then once you knock out that first debt that you've paid off, you're going to take whatever that balance is, whatever that amount is that you've been paying on that, and roll it into the second payment or the second one that's on your list, plus the minimum payments that you were already making on it. So for example, if you were making a $500 a month payment on the first loan or the first debt type that you're trying to pay off, and then you're paying $75 as a minimum on the second one that's next, when it rolls over, you're going to be making a $575 payment on the second debt until you pay it off. And then once that's paid off, then you're going to take that $575 plus whatever the minimum payment is on the next one, and then make that be your monthly payment until it pays off. So
So
this
you mean
is
to tell me that once I pay off that $500 bill, that I'm supposed to take that $500 and put it to next? I can't just spend it.
no,
I
you
can't
cannot.
go get no new shoes. I
No,
can't
you
take
can.
me and mama and the girls out to lunch.
No, you cannot. It's
See the
not. It's not free money. But let me say this: you can find a way to reward yourself. So I remember when I paid off my third to last debt account. When I paid off my third to last debt account, as a way to reward myself, I went and got a hefty Chipotle bowl, and it had the works. It had double meat. It had guacamole. It had all
Ooh.
of this stuff, extra wraps, chips, and everything. And I went all out. I think I probably spent about $15 or $16 at that point. And for me, that was a treat because that was one of the things that I had given up. That was one of my sacrifices in order to make this work. So if
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you want to be able to celebrate yourself every now and then, it's okay. But don't splurge the whole $500 or whatever that
And
amount
see,
is.
that's me. Like I need rewards, but that's the difference between the different people. Even though I feel like I want to reward myself for something. I remember when I was really budgeting, really on point, when I was making money to be able to budget. People thought I was crazy, but I had $180 a month in my budget for hair, nails. My hairs, my hair, my nails, my lashes, and my toes. That was a part of my budget because that's what I wanted. And I didn't do it because um I wanted people to say, "Oh, you're pretty," but that was my self-care. That
Mhm.
made me feel great, right? So even like when I broke a nail or if something didn't go right, I still would not go. Once that $180 was done for the month, that was it. My nails stayed broke. My lashes, I just took them off. My hairstyle, if it didn't last, that was it. But I feel like if I'm working towards something, me personally, that I need to reward myself. So is it
Mhm.
important to, as you're paying off your debt, and I know you said put the little pieces back,
Mhm.
and I know you said $15. It doesn't sound like a lot,
Mhm.
but that is a lot when you're $15 from being debt free, So how would you factor in a reward, even if it wasn't $15, like a lip gloss? Would you just, I mean, how would that do? Because I need rewards. I need rewards for me.
Yeah, and again, that's why I said it's really up to you and what you're willing to put inside of your budget. One of the things that I talk about around budgeting and budgeting categories is having a way to either celebrate yourself or give yourself some form of self-care. And so if you are okay with having whatever that amount is, whatever that thing is for just that one period to be able to celebrate yourself, that's totally okay. Like I can't tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I just want I just want to encourage you all to be mindful and recognizing that this is the form that you're going to use to celebrate yourself, but ensuring that you're doing the assessment that you need to ensure that it's in moderation, and also weighing it against how much farther is this costing you to not be able to reach your goal, or how much
Gotcha.
further is it causing you to be delayed from reaching your goal. So for me, I was very aggressive. And I don't recommend and suggest anyone to do it in the capacity that I did, because I just flipped like a light switch. I shut off everything. I stopped going out. I told friends I can't do this. I cut bills as much as possible. I just went cold turkey. And it
And
was
you were
really,
okay
really
with
aggressive.
that. I
And
feel
I
like
was
you were
okay.
okay with that because
Yes.
you knew the end. before you could actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a next question I would have is, where does God come into play? You
Come
know,
on.
when
Come on.
when did you actually accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? When did you feel like you needed to add a little bit of Jesus to your finances? You know, I have this book that I read, and I forgot where I got it from, but it's called Everything the Bible Says About Money.
Mm.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And when I started reading this book, and it says, what does God say about investing? How can I spend my money wisely? Is money really, let's tap on that. Let's tap on that. Is money really the root of all evil? And how should I help the poor? So
Mm-hmm.
at one point did God show up in your life?
Oh my gosh. I feel like God has showed up all throughout my life. Amen. The life that I've
Amen.
had.
Amen.
It showed up all through my life. But you asked the question around when did I accept the Lord as my personal savior? And that was actually 16 years old when I turned my life over to Christ. And at that point, I was learning a lot about God. I mean, I knew that he was real just because of all of the things that we had endured and all of the things that we were able to overcome family wise and just personally. But I was always one to be obedient, even before I really knew who God was. So even as a child, I was always obedient and respectful of those who gave instruction to me. So when it comes to finances, one of the things that I was very, very intentional about was paying my tithes, and I would pay my tithes. And again, I didn't grow up in the wealthiest background. We had it tight. I mean, we had to eat from food banks, had the government assistance, all of that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like everything was nitty gritty and everything was hunky dory and everything was perfect. I remember when I actually started working, because I started working at the age of 14. And when I started working, of course, I got saved at 16. And of course, they teach you about not only just the word, but also about tithing. And I remember I would, give my tithes. But even at that point, I wasn't giving the full tenth. I wasn't giving the full tenth, but I was giving something. And I remember as I got older and once I started working and I started getting a little bit more money, and I would pay my tithes consistently. And I think I had just gotten out of college at this point, and I would pay my tithes consistently. And I remember there was a conversation with my mom, and she was like, I hope you're not giving church all your money, and we need it, and da 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 da. You should be giving church all your money.
I've had that conversation too before. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it can be hard. And I was just like, well, dang, I was like, well, we really are broke. We really don't have it like that. So maybe I do need to stop. And was that the worst decision I could have ever made? Why? Because I knew from an obedient space what was right and what was wrong, but I was listening to somebody else, even though it was my mom, even though I understood where she was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But it's powerful how someone else's conversation and influence can have over you. So when I stopped paying my tithes, I felt like the very thing that I was trying to hold on to, it got snatched away instantly.
Ooh.
It was like problem after problem after problem after problem. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep paying my tithes, and I don't have to tell nobody what I'm doing with my money. And
Ain't nobody business.
not even my mama. And so that's exactly what I did. And I learned to keep my communication and my tithing commitment between me and God. And so I wasn't worried about anybody asking me or telling me, oh, what you giving? That's none of your business. That's between me and the Lord, because the Lord has kept me through too much, I have so many stories that I can share just on tithing alone. And let me say this, even while I was going through my debt elimination journey, I never stopped tithing.
Come on, God.
The full tenth, gross, off the gross. I never stopped tithing until a short period in 2021, but that was because I had a lot going on in my life and I just needed to get it all the way together. But even still,
We
once
all
I
have them
snapped out of
moments, honey. We all, and if anybody in this chat said they didn't, then guess what? I'm gonna need you to repent, because we all
that,
have those periods of time of like, you like, okay, God, We're gonna just let you do you, and I'm finna do me. You be right there when I come back.
Oh,
You know,
and
we've
I
all
got
had those
caught up.
moments. I did too.
Amen.
We
Amen.
did, and that's the good thing about having Christ in your life. You
Mhm.
know, I just love to hear you say that you never stop tithing, because you know the whole controversy that's going on right now. I'm so sick of them. Leave Cleflo alone. Okay.
Ooh.
I'm sick of them picking on Cleflo. And I just feel like some churches have become very abusive. They
Mhm.
beat, I can speak because I was one of those ones
Mhm.
that gave a tithe, gave a offering, and
Mhm.
still felt like I should give my bill money, and that wasn't enough
Mhm.
because of the demand of the ministry. The
Mhm.
leaders were putting it on the people, you know. So
Mhm.
I feel like people have actually taken tithe and use it as a form of abuse, not just tithe, just giving in general.
Mhm.
And when people understand the principle of tithing and the principle of giving, when they wake up and they realize that they've been abused financially, when they wake up, and that's the thing, I felt like Creflo Dollar did shine some light on some things, but he also corrected his mistake. And
Mm.
you know, once you have knowledge and power of a thing, nobody can never enslave you again.
Amen. Amen.
Debt demolisher. Once you get yourself out of debt, once you demolish that thing, I believe that you can never be bound again, because you
Mhm.
know where you went through. You know what you've experienced. So you don't want anyone, not even yourself, to get you back in that thing.
Mm-mm.
So I love that you said, even paying off that debt part, you still kept God first. I remember one time we were going through, we were struggling in our finances, and we went to social services to get help with I don't know if it was electric bill or something. I don't know. But my husband and I, we never really could get assistance because we were working people. We had a son in the home. We made too much for a family of three. And
Mm.
I remember they wanted all our bills, the electric bill and the rent. They wanted everything, and the tithing and offering. And the social worker was like, well, here I can see where you can stop this, and stop that. So she wanted us to stop tithing and stop giving. That was
Mm.
her recommendation for us.
Mm.
I'm like, hey, that's not an option. Y'all keep your money.
Mm.
That wasn't an option, because they try to show you what you should do
Mhm.
before they can come off of what they have. You know, well, if you cut back here, then we can give you X, Y, and Z. Honey, look, never miss everything. The Bible says, I was young, but now I'm old.
Mhm.
Yet have I ever seen the righteous forsaken, or his seed begging for bread. So I
Amen.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
And at this point, does anyone have any questions for her? Does anyone have any questions? We're 47, and this is good stuff, y'all. If this is good stuff, I need y'all to comment. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Drop that in the chat section. This is good stuff. If anybody have any questions, please feel free to ask her. She's open. Um, uh, is there any advice? Is there anything, if you were sitting a one-on-one with somebody, and they come to you with their head down, and they come to you broken, and you know, what would you say to a person? How would you encourage someone? I'll say, if someone's sitting out right now watching this interview, you know, I have titled this particular movement Motivating the Multitudes, because
Mhm.
there's so many people out there. You know, I've learned that it's not what you make, it's what you do with what you make. It's
Mhm.
what you do with what you make. So, what advice would you have for someone that's in your space as a caregiver, or a young single woman? You know, what advice would you have? They say, I just can't do it. I'm tired. I'm over it. Oh my God, I'm just tired. I'm gonna quit. Da, 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 da. They just and panic and just going through. You know, what advice would you have for someone? And if anyone have any questions, feel free to drop while she's answering that question.
So this is good because one thing that I really want people to recognize and realize is when it comes to finances, it's personal, and because it's personal, it can become emotional. And so oftentimes if you're in a space where when you feel like you're in a financial bind, where you feel like you're suffering from financial anxiety, I just want to encourage you to let you know that it's okay to feel that way and to get those feelings up so that they can come out. Because the only way that you can proceed and progress is by releasing the very energy that is harboring you and that's hindering you from moving forward. If you are someone who feels like there's no way out, I'm here to show you and also tell you that there is evidence of the opposite of what you're believing. Because if a person like me, who had a dysfunctional emotional relationship with money, was able to turn her relationship around by solely being intentional about telling her money where to go consistently, then you can do the same. And I want to encourage you, when you feel those moments of low, it's okay to feel those moments of low. You just have to be encouraged to get back up. And in order for you to be encouraged to get back up, you have to put yourself around people, put yourself around resources, and put yourself around those who can give you the uplifting energy and the encouragement and the support, and even also sometimes even the strategy that can help you move one step forward. One of the things that's going to be important for you on this journey is finding an accountability partner. That accountability partner could be a counselor. That accountability partner could be a financial coach. That accountability partner could be your spouse. It could be your friend. It could be your sister. As long as they are on one accord and they are in believing of what it is that you're trying to do inside of your finances. But I want to encourage you to get inside of the word as well. Remember what the word says about exercising your faith, because even when it comes to your finances, this is a faith walk. Not just a man walk, not just a natural walk, but you have to be willing to put your faith in the Lord and say, Lord, I trust you. Every single time I give my tithes, that is what I say to the Lord. I don't feel like I'm giving my tithes to the church. I feel like I'm giving my tithes as an honor to God to say, Lord, I trust you. So that way that he can know that I'm not holding back. And if I can show him that I'm not holding back, then of course he's going to be willing and willing and will actually bless me with more. There's been so much that has happened, but I want to encourage you on today. Just start your journey. Start where you are. Identify where your numbers are and tell yourself you can do this no matter how large the number is. The only way that you can get through it is if you start. Tell your money where to go. Be consistent about identifying which bill you're going to tackle next. Take it little by little, incorporate your rewards in moderation if that's what you need, and just continue to go. It's going to be a faith walk coupled with a will walk. And so when you're on this journey, know that the downs are going to come, but you have to rise back up. And
I
you
love it.
guys
You
will.
said coupled with a willed walk. What does that look like?
What does that? It means exercising that faith.
Ooh.
It means staying in the work even when you don't feel like it. Every Saturday at 8 o'clock, I don't feel like getting up to do my budgets, but I do it anyway. Every time I have to pay on a bill or make an extra payment on a bill, I may not want to do it, but I do it anyway. I may not want to have to take out this additional loan that's actually putting me in more debt, but because I know it's the right thing to do, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to think of my strategy that's going to help me eliminate it as quickly as possible. So when you're doing a willed walk, you are allowing yourself to do the very thing that you don't feel like doing in the moment.
That's good. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Am I the only one over here like, yes, I'm just glowing. I love the will walk. And when you said the will walk, it makes me excited because the power of choice.
Yes. Yes. It's all about choice. You get to choose. The reason why your financial life is the way it is because you chose it to be that way. That may be hard to hear, but even for me, I chose those decisions. I chose to max out the credit cards. I chose to spend out of insecurity. I chose to buy things for people so that I can feel like they were loving on me. I chose to take out all of that debt. So you have to live with your decisions. And you're either going to choose to do something about it or you're going to choose not to. Everything is a choice.
Oh, that is so great. Oh, that's so great. That's good. Y'all see me over here cheesing behind this camera. I love it. I love it. I love it. If you guys are not connected with Sophia Malonē, the Demolisher TV, I'm gonna need you to get there, get there, get there. The moderators, please drop her link, guys. Pitch yourself. What do you have to offer? Do you have a coaching business? Your links, all that fun stuff. Put yourself out there. Just tell about your business. We know who you are personally because you just, all that. But this is your time to put out what you need. So people that are in this live stream or possibly come back and watch the replay. If they want to come look for you, what do they need to do?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for this, Angie.
You're
So
welcome.
as you know, I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is something that I'm using as a platform to be able to educate those to help them further along in their financial journey or maybe even start it. So I have that as a free resource for anyone who wants to be able to access it and check it out. But I founded a financial education company back in 2017, shortly after starting my debt freedom journey. And one of the things that I do there is I teach on not only credit, but also helping you with strategy and coaching in your finances. Because we know that when it comes to finances, it's a personal thing. And oftentimes we need that support to help guide us through emotionally and strategically. So I have Smash Debt, which is the
Okay,
name of my
okay.
financial education company. Yes, indeed. And we host workshops. We have credit workshops that we just did. I'm doing that on a quarterly basis, live workshops. I have coaching programs. I have budget templates. I have anything that you can imagine. But the main thing is, I just want you to be willing to come in and do the work. So even if you don't want to spend the financial resources to maybe attend a class or go to a workshop, there is information on my YouTube channel that could literally walk you through everything that you need. I have over 700 videos on the channel right now, and there's a host of resources there that are available to you. So I just want to encourage you to identify what you need, and when you identify it, go get it. Don't be afraid to go and get it.
So you do this as a business as well. This is
Yes,
not just for fun. This is your business
yes,
to
yes.
be able to help people. And that's what I love because, you know, um, I think one time I had went to a women's conference and they were saying from trial to triumph. And
Mm.
I also listened to Dr. Cindy Trim a lot, and she talks about we are the solution to somebody's problem. At the time that we're going through these things, we have no idea that one day we're going to be sitting sharing our story because at the time that we're going through it, we don't want to tell anybody. Sometimes we may be ashamed because we're eating oodles and noodles. But baby, look, I'll eat oodles and noodles if I'm trying to get, I'm okay. I'm content with some oodles and noodles and some boiled eggs with some butter and hot sauce. I'm okay with that if I know that eventually I can choose if I want to have top ramen or filet mignon. It's
Amen.
not that I have to eat top ramen, just to get to that point where you can choose what
Amen.
you want. And me and my husband was talking today about it feels so good to live by design, to choose what you want
Amen.
in your life, to choose how you want to live, even if you're not completely out of debt, or even if your body is not 100% working like it should, but you're working to making changes. But just to have the ability to choose the life you want,
The small
the
things.
small things. So your mother, are you still helping her with her finances, or how your relationship, or how is that?
Oh, my mom, we still have a great relationship, and of course I'm still managing her finances and doing everything related to that. I'm telling you, that's a story in and of itself. I'm literally spending thousands of dollars right now trying to like maintain her home. And so it's been a lot emotionally on that side because my mom has been in the hospital for quite some time. And there are things in her home that has pretty much deteriorated, and it's just a lot. So yes, I'm still managing her house, her bills and stuff there, but I'm also in the middle of managing a construction project at her house to get it renovated. So it's
Well,
been a
you
lot.
guys, look, when I not that she's asking, I'm just saying this, okay? If you have a Cash App, can you please drop it in the description box? Acacia or somebody, please drop the Debt Demolisher's Cash App in the comment section. And I'm just doing that because I don't do this for everybody, but I just feel in my heart, to do it. If you guys could sow any amount that you want to, no, $22. I'm saying $22 of
Oh,
each person.
God.
And I'm going to send me your Cash App because I'm going to sow my $22 as well. What is it? There it is.
Oh, God.
Cash tag so mail. Cash tag so mail 2022. If you guys can sow $22 into the Debt Demolisher's life, so into what she's doing. I know she just recently got monetized on Facebook. It's a lot taking care of a parent. I love my mom. She's gone on to be with the Lord, but we still dealing with her house as well, keeping the maintenance up and doing all that stuff. So, hey, look, y'all may say, well, she a budget. You don't have it. If you don't have the $22, then guess what? I won't talking to you.
Amen. Amen.
So
Amen.
even those that are watching the replay, if her Cash App is right there, there it is. And I'll even put the Cash App in the description box. Cash App her $22 if you can. Why? Because the blessing is in the obedience. It doesn't matter what she do with those $22. It ain't none of y'all business. We don't know what she been praying for. We don't know what she been asking God for. Just know. Sow your $22. And guess what? When you sow your $22, put that thing on assignment. As a matter of fact, let me pull my Cash App right now.
Oh, gosh.
Let me pull it up right now. Let me pull it up right now. And again, like I said, I don't normally do this, but I know the Spirit of the Lord when I hear him, and that's what he is petitioning me to do at this point. Okay, pumpkins? So I'm going to sow my $22 because I believe in the power of sowing seed. Money begets money. And if you have something on your heart that you want God to do for you, this the seed that you put on assignment. This the seed you put on assignment. And a farmer, when they put their seed in the ground, what do they do? How do they know what's in there? They put corn, they label it, they put watermelon, they put tomatoes. So put your seed on assignment. So let me stop talking and get my Cash App a ringing, because sometimes as we get older, multitasking becomes a task. Multitasking becomes a task. So let me pull my Cash App up and do my $22. Let me switch because matter of fact, I'm going to keep it on this one because this is my business. So I'm going to sow this $22 in my business. This is my business Cash App. So this will be coming from Two Forks. So when you see Two Forks, you know that it's me.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not asking y'all to do something that I'm not doing or I wouldn't do. And if you don't feel led to do it, then it's okay, y'all. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like I'm not doing that. And no, we didn't talk about this backstage. No, we didn't. So your cash tag is $22 to, let me close this out for a minute. Cash tag, let me see, pay.
Gosh.
Cash tag. So mail. So hopefully it'll come up for me. There it is. In case y'all want to know what it look like. Y'all see it? Don't be up there act like y'all don't know. See that little alert? It says so mail. So when you see that, that's it. $22.
Thank you so
$22. So mail. It says she is not in your contacts. Confirmed. She is in there now. And I'm putting seed. And I'm sowing this $22 seed because I'm starting a business, y'all. And I need some things. I need some stuff. And I know $22 is nothing compared to what we spend on some things. So I'm sowing this seed for my business.
Amen. And I pray that he returns it 1,000-fold. 1,000-fold.
You got your phone with you?
It's in the other room.
Well, I'm hitting pay. So you'll see it from Two Forks. So my $22. It's y'all see it. So y'all won't just say I'm just talking because I look. The Bible said don't just be hearers, but doers of the word also.
Thank
So
you.
look, y'all do what y'all do. It's between y'all. If y'all want to do it or not, I'm just know I feel in my heart that it's what God has told me to do. Motivating the multitudes. And that's what we're about over here. We're about making sure that people have what they need, whether she use it for gas, whether she get her Chipotle bowl, okay? You know, don't take this and I'm gonna say personally, don't take this and spend a bill with it. I'm gonna tell you, take this and do something for Sophia.
Oh my God.
Do something for Sophia, whether you want a pedicure, a manicure. I don't know what $22 will get you. I don't know if anybody else is gonna follow through, but spend it on you. Spend it on you. Spend it on you. Get your girl and kick back and get that bowl with all the extra stuff that you like. So that's it, y'all. Anybody else got any questions? She gave her final words. She talked about Jesus. We talked about tithe. My takeaways from the night. Absolutely go right ahead. You take the floor, honey.
Can I just say thank you? I just want to say thank you so much for that, because you did not have to say that, share that, bring that up. And I know that it's the Lord led, but I just want to say thank you so much, Angie. And I'm just praying that the Lord returns all of these blessings unto you 1,000-fold and more. And I just want to also just say how powerful it was for you to say that you're putting a name on the seed and doing it from a space of obedience, because that's one of the most powerfulest things that we can do for not just ourselves, but as an honor and out of obedience to the Lord. So I just want to say thank you so much, Angie. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. God gets all the glory, honey. Love.
Amen. Yes, he does.
He gets
God
all the glory. Any questions for Sophia, the Debt Demolisher TV, y'all? Take advantage of what she's offering. She does a lot and she gives away a lot of free stuff. She gives away a lot of free stuff. Just take out time and invest in you. Don't look at it, as, oh, I'm paying her or I'm paying him. Look at it as an investment. Change your language, because when you start changing your language, you won't look at, oh, I'm paying this. I like when she said, when you said about your tithe, that it became a personal thing between you and God and how you decided to keep your mouth closed. The Bible says, never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. The Bible speaks of that. So you are actually living out God's word. So when you take out time to invest in yourself, I always bring about the time in the scriptures, and I think I shared it one time before, when Jesus and his disciples were going somewhere and they had to pay a toll to get in. Jesus and his disciples had to pay to get in. What did he do? He sent the disciple down to the brook to get money out of the fish's mouth to pay their way in. So if Jesus had to do it, who are we? You have to invest something and get a craft, a talent, ability. Jesus was a carpenter. Yes, he won souls for Jesus. Yes, he motivated the masses. Yes, he motivated the multitude. But guess what? He also partake in the work himself. And I can say that Demolisher is doing that, y'all. She's doing that. I love that she's sharing her story. I'm inspired. And just in case you guys wondering, I know it's been an hour, how we met. Because I don't think I talked about how we met.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't know how we actually met. And I remember it's probably been about 3 years ago now.
I think so.
It's probably been about 3 years. We were on a business virtual summit. I think it was a virtual summit.
Yep, 3 days.
Powering Your Profits with Susie Carter. I'm looking up because I have her autographed book on my bookshelf because she gave me a book when she came to Delaware. But we were in Powering Your Profits virtual workshop. And when they did the breakout groups, It just so happened that me and Sophia end up being in the same breakout group. And I don't know how we got on YouTube. I don't know how we even start talking about it, but we shared information in that breakout group about each other and things like that. And then I think maybe about a year or so ago, I popped up on the live stream. You popped up and was like, "Hey, Angie." I'm like, "Who is this?" I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Angie." I said, "This chick done call me Angie." And no one calls me Angie unless they know me. Thus, Angie in real life. I go by Angela, which is my professional name. When I'm at work, they call me Angela. So people call me Angela, they know me on a professional level. People call me Angie, then they know me from around the block. Like Jenny from the block, Angie from the block. So when you say Angie, I'm like, this chick must know me from somewhere. She done call me Angie. Not even thinking about the YouTube, but she was like, "Hey, Angie." I'm like, "Who is this? How do I know her? I know her. Oh, yeah. Hey." That's just how the reaction was, wasn't it?
Yes. I was lighting it up in the chat. I was
like, yeah. So that's how we actually met virtually. So I'm so excited because I would love to have you at my vision board empowerment session. It is January the 7th. It is 2023. I have secured a location.
Oh my God.
So I am planning. Yes, they can say, "Why are you planning this far out?" Because look, I didn't give people enough time, and I know you're in like the DC, Maryland area, and my family is over that way. My biological father, Morgans, the Bruces, we're over from the Washington DC area. So I know I'm only about 2.5 hours from you. Maybe 2.5 hours from you here in Delaware. So I would like for you to come and share just a little bit about your workshop and what you do and how you became debt free. So I'm just lining up, and all of you guys save the date because I want y'all here in Delaware.
Yeah.
If y'all can get to Delaware, January the 7th, 2023, I'm going to need all of y'all, mark y'all calendars because I'm excited. And this is going to be an annual event for me. It is actually it's National Vision Board Day. The first Saturday in January is National Vision Board Day. So I've jumped on that and made it, incorporated into my ministry and my channel and whatever God has laid in my coaching business. So I'm excited. So save the date as I get more things together. I'll let you know because I just thank God for us building our tribe. We're building our tribe. We're encouraging one another, and people need to see like-minded people.
Amen.
People need to see like-minded people, and social media is not all that bad. So I'm excited. You guys may see her typing in the chat, Chef BC Cherry Bliss. She is actually really a chef, and they have a top of the line catering service, and they will be there serving us.
Yeah.
They will be there serving us. So I'm so excited about the whole journey. If anyone have any questions, going once, going twice, y'all come on out. Y'all grab Debt Demolisher. If any of you guys that are on here that are not already subscribed to anyone that is in this live stream, please get connected. Get connected the proper way to connect is to go to their YouTube channel. If you don't have time to watch the video, like it, put it in the watch later, but go back, subscribe. If you can find the shorter video tonight, go watch short video, say, "Hey, saw you on air," subscribing, something to just let YouTube know that you're really a subscriber and not a robot, because they do purge. They do purge channels. They'll take subscribers away. So they're really looking and they do monitor the platform in spite of what people think that they don't. So if you guys are not subscribed already, please get to her channel and subscribe to everyone on here. Get connected. Again, if you can't catch a video, if you can't catch your live stream, thumbs it up and share it out. Thumbs it up and share it out. Before I close out, Sophia, do you have any YouTube recommendations or anything that has to do with what you recommend as a YouTuber, your journey, and then we'll go ahead and close out with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely always start out with the His and Her Money show, because it was that podcast or that blog site, and hearing those interviews is what really gave me the inspiration and the momentum that I needed to really jumpstart my journey. And they have a YouTube channel as well. So they're on YouTube. They're doing really well on YouTube. I will also say empowerment TVs and episodes, anything that you need to get uplifted through Angie in Real Life, definitely. And one of the things that I want to encourage you all is I have an annual Vet Your Spending Challenge that's hosted on my channel every year during the month of November. And it's a complimentary challenge. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to show up. And if you want the templates and the workbooks and the things that I share, you'll have to register for that. There's links inside of any of the description boxes on the videos that are on my channel if you want to be able to register for that. But I would definitely suggest that. And don't be afraid to listen to different channels, because you may not like my approach. You may be someone who's more so interested in wanting to learn more about investing. There are several investing channels that you can be able to listen to. You may want to be encouraged about finding more about the FIRE movement. There's several channels that focus just on that. There's channels like Wealth Nation. There's channels like Our Rich Journey. There's so many other channels that are available. So I just want to encourage you to use this platform, wherever you're watching, as a way to gain additional insight that you can apply to your life. I want to mention this too before we close out. It's not just about getting the information, it's about applying the information. And one of the things that I strongly urge, and one of the things that I strongly stress on my channel, is that when you come into this space, be ready to do the work, because the information is being shared so that you could apply it to your life, so that you can transform your financial life, because without the work, you won't see the transformation. So the encouragement to you all is, as you find information, apply it. If it doesn't work, toss it and find something else to try out and apply. But I want to remind you all that your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. And if you're not new, one of the things that I always say, and one of the things that I always encourage you to do, is to do what? Get to work.
Get to work, guys. Thank you so much again for being here tonight. Another Woman Empowerment Wednesday under our belt. I hope you were encouraged. I hope you was inspired. I hope you were a part of a new transformation has been born. I hope it was something that you got out of it that you can apply to your life. Application is key. I love it when she closed out and say, get the work. Get the work, because I have a mantra that says success only comes before work in the dictionary. Don't forget that what you make happen for others, gotta make happen for you. One plants, one water up, but it's the Almighty God that gives the increase. It is in Him that we live, we move, and have our being. And next Wednesday, if you guys are available, come on back to Wednesday night Woman Empowerment. We will have one of my very own divine connectors, Angela Bell, will be here next Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. She is an awesome woman of God. She has a lot to offer. She too has a YouTube channel. She also has a marketing business as well. But I'm going to let y'all meet her next week. Go to her channel, you guys, this week, and look around and watch some videos and subscribe and prepare for what she's going to bring. A minister, she's an elder, she's a wife, she has children, she's running a business, she loves food. She loved God. She has a saying, I ain't gonna mess it up because I always get it wrong, but she even patronized her website. So she'll have all that stuff next week for you guys to see. So come on back. Let's go, Angela Bell. She'll be here next week. And the last Wednesday in the month, we will have the Fruitful Wife, who is another one of my sisters who is from Atlanta. Angela Bell is Mississippi. She's a Mississippi baby, honey. She is a Southern Belle. So anyway, guys, I love you guys. Have a great week. I believe Lisa Michelle. Go, little Lisa. Go, little Lisa. Hey, them glow butters. Yes. I think she's on at 9 o'clock. I tried to not go over an hour so we can all go support her. She is building her watch hours, and she's working on getting her monetization. So even if you cannot stay, if you're getting ready for bed, go to her channel. Somebody drop her link. If she's, I don't know if she started already. But Lisa, if you're listening from now on, when you're coming on behind me, let me know. You leave us and go get your live stream started. And then we'll just move right from me into you. We'll flow over. So those that don't know you, they'll get to know you. And then if they want to stay, I recommend 15 minutes. They can get in, get at least 15 minutes and go on about their business, because some people say, I'll go and support. It's a little bit easier if I can drop your link. If your live stream is already up and running, I can copy your link, paste it, drop it in there, and they can say goodbye and start dropping off me and jumping right on to you. Okay, pumpkin. So there's a flow to this thing. So if we start supporting each other, or somebody on at 7 o'clock, you pop off, I pop on, and just go in a row. That's how we support each other with live streams and videos and premieres. We all support as much as we possibly can. I love you guys, and y'all already know what to do. Y'all already know what to do. In the meantime, between time, y'all gotta do live, baby, live. I love you guys. Catch Lisa's live, guys. Even if you only stay for a little minute, every hour counts. Every minute counts. Ace Deuce family, I love you. I didn't call your name out. Journey with Jesus, hey. But Ace Deuce family, she has been with me since the beginning, y'all. She helped me get monetized. She ran my playlist. She encouraged me when I wanted to quit. And she was like, you can do it, Angie. Keep going. She gave me recommendations, so along the way, I did encounter some people that really helped me on this journey. Ace Deuce family, I love you. I appreciate you. You guys have a great night. And this is my final closing. Y'all know we like preachers, okay? We have several closings. Before we actually close, I love you guys. Have a great night. And I will see you guys in Lisa Smiles as I prepare for my wind down. Angie in real life. Angie in real life with one L. I am your hope dealer and your purpose pusher.
Here's what you gotta do. Hit the breakfast special and coming through.
What's up? My lifers, how are we?